Parshat Vayechi. Genesis 47. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt for 17 years, and Jacob's days, the years of his life, were 147 years. When the time drew near for Israel to die, he called his son Joseph and said to him, If I have now found favor in your eyes, now place your hand beneath my thigh, and you shall deal with me with loving kindness and truth. Do not bury me now in Egypt. I will lie with my forefathers, and you shall carry me out of Egypt, and you shall bury me in their grave. And he said, I will do as you say. And he said, Swear to me. So he swore to him, and Israel prostrated himself on the head of the bed. Genesis 48. Now it came to pass after these incidents that Joseph was told, Behold, your father is ill. So he took his 2 sons with him, Manasseh and Ephraim. And someone told Jacob and said, Behold, your son Joseph is coming to you. And Israel summoned his strength and sat up on the bed. And Jacob said to Joseph, El Shaddai appeared to me in Luz, in the land of Canaan. And he blessed me. And he said to me, Behold, I will make you fruitful and cause you to multiply, and I will make you into a congregation of peoples, and I will give this land to your seed after you for an everlasting inheritance. And now, as for your 2 sons, who were born to you in the land of Egypt, until I came to you to the land of Egypt they are mine. Ephraim and Manasseh shall be mine like Reuben and Simeon, but your children, if you beget any after them, shall be yours. By their brothers' names they shall be called in their inheritance. As for me, when I came from Padan, Rachel died to me in the land of Canaan on the way, when there was still a stretch of land to come to Ephrath, and I buried her there on the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. Then Israel saw Joseph's sons, and he said, Who are these? Joseph said to his father, They are my sons, whom Elohim gave me here. So he said, Now bring them near to me so that I may bless them. Now Israel's eyes had become heavy with age, to the extent that he could not see. So he drew them near to him, and he kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said to Joseph, I had not expected to see even your face, and behold, Elohim has shown me your children too. And Joseph took them out from upon his Jacob's knees, and he prostrated himself to the ground. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim at his right, from Israel's left, and Manasseh at his left, from Israel's right, and he brought them near to him. But Israel stretched out his right hand and placed it on Ephraim's head, although he was the younger, and his left hand he placed on Manasseh's head. He guided his hands deliberately, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph and said, The Elohim before whom my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, walked, the Elohim who sustained me as long as I am alive, until this day may the messenger who redeemed me from all harm bless the youths, and may they be called by my name and the name of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, and may they multiply abundantly like fish in the midst of the land. And Joseph saw that his father was placing his right hand on Ephraim's head, and it displeased him. So he held up his father's hand to remove it from upon Ephraim's head, to place it on Manasseh's head. And Joseph said to his father, Not so, father, for this one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head. But his father refused, and he said, I know, my son. I know. He too will become a people, and he too will be great. But his younger brother will be greater than he, and his children's fame will fill the nations. So he blessed them on that day, saying, With you Israel will bless, saying, May Elohim make you like Ephraim and like Manasseh. And he placed Ephraim before Manasseh. And Israel said to Joseph, Behold, I am going to die, and Elohim will be with you, and he will return you to the land of your forefathers. And I have given you one portion over your brothers, which I took from the hand of the Amorite with my sword and with my bow. Genesis 49. Jacob called for his sons and said, Gather, and I will tell you what will happen to you at the end of days. Gather and listen, sons of Jacob, and listen to Israel, your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my strength and the first of my might. You should have been superior in rank and superior in power. You have the restlessness of water, therefore you shall not have superiority, for you ascended upon your father's couch. Then you profaned him who ascended upon my bed. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Stolen instruments are their weapons. Let my soul not enter their council. My honor, you shall not join their assembly, for in their wrath they killed a man, and with their will they hamstrung a bull. Cursed be their wrath, for it is mighty, and their anger because it is harsh. I will separate them throughout Jacob, and I will scatter them throughout Israel. Judah, as for you, your brothers will acknowledge you. Your hand will be at the nape of your enemies, and your father's sons will prostrate themselves to you. A cub and a grown lion is Judah. From the prey, my son, you withdrew. He crouched, rested like a lion, and like a lion, who will rouse him? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh comes, and to him will be a gathering of peoples. He binds his foal to a vine, and to a tendril he binds his young donkey. He launders his garment with wine, and with the blood of grapes binds his raiment. He is dark-eyed from wine and white-toothed from milk. Zebulun will dwell on the coast of the seas. He will be at the harbor of the ships, and his boundary will be at Zidon. Issachar is a strong-boned donkey lying between the boundaries. He saw a resting place, that it was good, and the land, that it was pleasant. And he bent his shoulder to bear burdens, and he became an indentured laborer. Dan will avenge his people like one, the tribes of Israel. Dan will be a serpent on the road, a viper on the path, which bites the horse's heels so its rider falls backwards. For your salvation, I hope, O Hashem. As for Gad, a troop will troop forth from him, and it will troop back in its tracks. From Asher will come rich food, and he will yield regal delicacies. Naphtali is a swift gazelle. He is one who utters beautiful words. A charming son is Joseph, a son charming to the eye. Of the women, each one strode along to see him. They heaped bitterness upon him and became quarrelsome. Arches despised him. But his bow was strongly established, and his arms were gilded from the hands of the mighty one of Jacob. From there he sustained the rock of Israel, from El of your father, and he will help you, and with Shaddai, and he will bless you, with blessings of the heavens above, blessings of the deep lying below, blessings of the breast and womb. The blessings of your father surpassed the blessings of my parents, the ends of the everlasting hills. May they come to Joseph's head and to the crown of the head, of the one who was separated from his brothers. Benjamin is a wolf, he will prey. In the morning he will devour plunder, and in the evening he will divide the spoil. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is what their father spoke to them and blessed them. Each man according to his blessing he blessed them. And he commanded them and said to them, I will be brought in to my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephraim the Hittite, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre in the land of Canaan, which field Abraham bought from Ephraim the Hittite for burial property. There they buried Abraham and his wife Sarah. There they buried Isaac and his wife Rebekah, and there I buried Leah. The purchase of the field and the cave therein was from the sons of Heth. And Jacob concluded commanding his sons, and he drew his legs up into the bed and expired and was brought in to his people. Genesis 50. Joseph fell on his father's face, and he wept over him and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father, and the physicians embalmed Israel. And 40 days were completed for him, for so are the days of embalming completed. And the Egyptians wept over him for 70 days. When the days of his weeping had passed, Joseph spoke to Pharaoh's household, saying, If now I have found favor in your eyes, speak now in Pharaoh's ears, saying, My father adjured me, saying, Behold, I am going to die. In my grave, which I dug for myself in the land of Canaan, there you shall bury me. So now, please let me go up and bury my father and return. And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury your father as he adjured you. So Joseph went up to bury his father, and all Pharaoh's servants, the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt went up with him. And Joseph's entire household and his brothers and his father's household, only their young children and their flocks and cattle did they leave in the land of Goshen, and chariots and horsemen also went up with him, and the camp was very numerous. And they came to the threshing floor of the thorn bushes, which is on the other side of the Jordan, and there they conducted a very great and impressive eulogy, and he made for his father a mourning of 7 days. The Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land, saw the mourning at the threshing floor of the thorn bushes, and they said, "This is an intense mourning for the Egyptians." Therefore they named it Abel Mizraim, Egypt mourns, which is on the other side of the Jordan. And his sons did to him just as he had commanded them. And his sons carried him to the land of Canaan, and they buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which field Abraham had bought for burial property from Ephraim the Hittite before Mamre. And Joseph returned to Egypt, he and his brothers, and all who had gone up with him to bury his father, after he had buried his father. Now Joseph's brothers saw that their father had died, and they said, "Perhaps Joseph will hate us and return to us all the evil that we did to him." So they commanded messengers to go to Joseph to say, "Your father commanded us before his death, saying, so shall you say to Joseph, please forgive now your brother's transgression and their sin, for they did evil to you. Now please forgive the transgression of the servants of Elohim of your father." Joseph wept when they spoke to him. His brothers also went and fell before him, and they said, "Behold, we are your slaves." But Joseph said to them, "Don't be afraid, for am I instead of Elohim? Indeed, you planned evil against me, but Elohim planned it for good, in order to bring about what is at present to keep a great populace alive. So now do not fear. I will sustain you and your small children." And he comforted them and spoke to their hearts. So Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's household, and Joseph lived 110 years. Joseph saw children of a third generation born to Ephraim. Also the sons of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were born on Joseph's knees. Joseph said to his brothers, "I am going to die. Elohim will surely remember you and take you up out of this land to the land that he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob." And Joseph adjured the children of Israel, saying, "Elohim will surely remember you, and you shall take up my bones out of here." And Joseph died at the age of 110 years, and they embalmed him, and he was placed into the coffin in Egypt.